Forge FC is ready to take the pitch.
Simply stunning stuff. And finally, their goal. My word, what a rocket.
Now, let's get 3 keys to the match with Anthony Urciuoli on the Forge Audio Network.
Hey, Forge fans. It's the Forge Audio Network. I'm Anthony Urciuoli, and this is your 3 keys to the match. Forge FC hosting Toronto FC in the 2020 Canadian Championship Final at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. Game time scheduled for 7 o'clock. Seating has been expanded, so tickets are still available. And if you get there before kickoff, you can enjoy $5 beers. So, I mean, what reason is there not to go? So, Forge FC obviously in for a challenge and in for an amazing opportunity to be the first Canadian Premier League club to win, to hoist the Voyageurs Cup. Also, you know, all that Forge has accomplished. I mean, 2 titles, their success in CONCACAF. They have not lifted a trophy in front of the hometown fans in Hamilton. So, I mean, this is a very unique opportunity for them. And it's an opportunity that, who knows how many more opportunities they're going to have like this. So, for Forge, it is a game that they absolutely, I mean, it seems obvious to say that they want to win. This is, for a lot of players, a lot of the young players especially, this is the biggest match they will ever played in. They may play in more down the road, but to this point, this might be the biggest match they've ever played in front of maybe the biggest crowd they've ever played in front of. So here are the 3 keys to the match for Forge FC against Toronto FC in the 2020 Canadian Championship Final. Key number 1, enjoy the moment. The pressure is very high, especially at home. The pressure is even higher at home for some players who are just maybe not used to this kind of atmosphere. Now, we know the tactical demand that Coach Bobby Smirniotis puts on his players, and they respond to it, and they respond well. You're not playing for Coach Bobby unless you can grasp those tactics and you fully buy into the system that he puts in place. Having all that in your head can take away from the fact that you still have to enjoy the moment. Now, it might be easy to say, oh, just have fun. The goal isn't fun in this case. It's to win, but you want to be able to look around, take in the atmosphere, take in the environment, and just really appreciate the spot that you're in. It gives you a higher appreciation for the moment. And it can loosen you up a little bit. Maybe you're less tight when you look around and say, hey, wait a minute, I get to play soccer in front of all these fans in a big moment like this. What a great opportunity this is. Enjoying the moment will be key for a lot of Forge members, especially some of the younger guys. Key number 2, it's something Coach Bobby talks about all the time, details. Now, one of Bobby's favorites analogies is, in soccer, you know, the most important moment is the throw-in. Well, what does that mean? I mean, well, forget it. I mean, maybe Bobby can just tell you right now.
Details, and when we talk about the details, is who wins the second balls, who's better in throw-ins, and it's a crazy thing in the game, but I think there's maybe 30 or 40 of them in the game, and it's a possession moment. But these are all the little moments where sometimes level of concentration can lower on players, and that's where differences are made in these final matches. You know, how we defend in our own box, how sharp we are in the attack to make sure we're picking out the right moments when we're in their box. So I think it's all going to come down to those small little details that sometimes in the course of a season, 28 games, 30 games, or whatever it may be, sometimes players lose a little bit that concentration. You know, this is a game where 90 minutes, every little bounce counts, every tackle counts, and how you're going to do things, and every pass into the right area or right zone of the field is going to give you an opportunity to do things, and every pass into the wrong zone is going to give the opportunity for the opponent to transition. So I think it's taking all of those little details into consideration and asking for the guys to be on their highest level of concentration from the first to the 90th.
So finer details, a very important part of what Coach Bobby is implementing and has implemented with Forge FC, and it's something that he expects his players to carry out. And against a club like Toronto FC, details are especially important. There is not much room for error and for mistake in this match. Key number 3, lean on your leaders. There's a reason. Here's the beauty of the Canadian Premier League. You have roster regulations and, with number of Canadians, number of youth players or players under 23 and all that. So what's great about this league is it gives young players an opportunity to play where maybe they would have never been given this opportunity. Who knows where their careers would go if not for the Canadian Premier League. It's perfectly situated at a point in their young careers where they can gain valuable experience, play against high-level teams, and just get better and better. And they have to get minutes. I mean, it's built into the league rules. They have to get their minutes and their playing time. They're only going to get better. It benefits the players. It benefits Canadian soccer. Everybody wins. The thing, though, is that you obviously can't have a team just full of under 23 players. You need some leadership. You need some veterans that can help you win and that can help bring those young players along. So in a big moment like this, if you're a young player, I mean, you have Kyle Becker, you have Ashton Yodi-Johnson, you have Ashton Morgan, you have Emery Welshman, Tristan Henry. You have guys, Dominic Samuel. I mean, we can go on. There's a lot of leadership on this team, and there's a veteran presence, and there are guys that can be leaned on in big moments. If you're a young player, even just observe. Well, what's Kyle doing right now? What's Ashton Morgan doing right now? There's a way to take, even if they're not vocal in those moments, they are an example. There's a mentorship that goes on just through their play on the field and through their demeanor and the way they conduct themselves professionally. And so it'll be important for the young players in this very big moment against Toronto FC, in front of all those fans, in front of, there's tons of media attention. Lean on your leaders and let them lead by example. All right. Everything is set. There's nothing more we can do. And there's not much more preparation the players are going to do. It's time. It's time for Forge FC and Toronto FC, the match that's at least 2 years in the making since 2020, but even longer than that. I mean, the second, if you live in Hamilton, or if you're from Hamilton, or if you have some kind of ties to Hamilton, the second you heard about a startup Canadian pro soccer league and the fact that Hamilton was going to have one of the flagship teams to start, you were saying, could you imagine if Hamilton played Toronto in soccer? Toronto FC came to Hamilton to play our guys. This is it. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's happening, and it's happening live at Tim Hortons Field at 7 o'clock. You can still get your tickets, still get your $5 beers before kickoff. I'm excited. We're all excited. I'll be there, and I'll see you there.
Forge FC is ready, and now you are too. This has been 3 Keys to the Match on the Forge Audio Network. Keep up to date on your Forge FC by subscribing to the Forge Audio Network on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.